Hey, this is Alex with the Unbiased Trailblazer podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Unbiased Blazers. There's a link in our bio for our Discord server where you can join in on the discussions, give us your takes, give us comments, or just join in on a podcast. Now, let's get to the show. Rip City, baby.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Liftoff and the clock has started.
What is up, everybody? This is episode 21 of the Unbiased Trailblazer podcast. We are joined by a couple special guests here. We got Otis and we got Lucas here, and we're also the return of Mike is back. He is starting to feel better from his sickness he had. So Mike is here, and unfortunately, now Fawad is not here. So it's me and Mike running it, and we got Lucas and Otis in here. We're going to just talk a little Blazer basketball. The Blazers are playing right now against Toronto. It's the start of the first quarter, so we'll probably have a little bit of game talk as the game is going on. But first off, I just want to say thanks to Lucas and Otis for joining. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. Doing well.
How you doing, Lucas?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to watch the Blazers and talk about the Blazers at the same time.
Yeah, and then we also have a third person who can't talk right now, but he might chime in the text, so we might get a couple text messages from him, and I'll read that out from there. But Mike, how are you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm off my sickness, feeling better. Unfortunately, I had to be monitored because my defenses were kind of low in my body.
Oh,
But,
jeez.
But apparently, my defense was the only defense that sucked last week. So I'm here.
Yeah, just like true Blazer fashion, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, let's just kind of jump in right to it. Otis, I'm going to ask you first. What's your thoughts on the season so far? How you feeling?
I do feel pretty frustrated, to be honest, watching these games. This is like the first time in a long time where you turn in to watch a Blazer game and Damian Lillard is not just on fire for most of these games so far. Usually he might only have 4 or 5 games out of 82 games a season where it's oh, he's not feeling it or his shot isn't falling. And even then, he's driving pretty hard and he's assisting a lot and he can kind of fade into the background. And in a lot of those games, I'm feeling pretty confident we'll still win, but Damian just really hasn't gotten a good rhythm yet. So with the rest of the supporting cast, kind of excluding CJ and the bench, not really stepping up. It's just been frustrating. It's been a lot of close games where it's man, if Dame really just shot better on some threes or things go a certain way, we would have a lot better record. So it's been frustrating, but
Exactly.
at the same time, it is well, maybe he'll feel a little bit better physically. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Honestly, I don't think it's just a 1-game rest type situation. But I don't know. Hopefully he starts to feel better over the season, or just starts to kind of be his normal self. So I guess we'll just kind of see how it unfolds. But I guess I would say I watch Blazer games a lot to relax, even if they lose. I know Dame's going to go off. It's going to be a fun show, and we haven't really seen that this season from him.
Yeah, you mentioned Lillard sitting out 1 game. It's kind of weird. He has this injury that we're all aware of, and they sit him out against Denver, and then they bring him back this game. It just seems kind of like a weird break they gave him. If he was good enough to play this game, then he probably was good enough for the Denver game. But
Yeah,
Lucas, what about you?
Well, yeah, I've also missed seeing Dame, score 40 or whatever, but I'm still optimistic about it. I know a lot of people were down because we had a bad stretch there for sure, especially on the away games. But I still enjoy it even without Dame, doing what he does. But yeah, and I also think that a lot of our other players, like Nas and Ant, have really like stepped up a lot, which has always been fun to see.
Yeah.
So I hope we can see like more from them, even more from them this season. And yeah, so I'm excited for that.
And Mike, since we haven't really heard from you since the season
Yeah.
started, pretty much, how are you feeling about the season?
I just like to highlight Gary Trent just hit a tree, so
Yeah, I saw that.
we're good. Yeah. If I have to describe this season, right now it's like dull. Did I expect more? Yes. Am I surprised that it's not more? No. Do I want the moves to happen? Yes. Do I know the moves that I want to happen? No. So it's a confusing time. But hopefully we get better without moving any pieces, because we don't have a lot of movable pieces and realistic trade targets. So yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into our next question. We haven't really had a season where we've started off this slow and it's been this ugly, and it kind of is carrying over from last year and the disappointment in the playoffs. So obviously, we've been hearing a lot of, trade. We need to trade this guy. We need to, CJ needs to go. Nurkic needs to go. Some people say Lillard needs to go. So I'm curious your guys' opinions on this. So, Lucas, I'll start with you. Do you think this early in the season it's time to blow it up? Do you think it's time to trade everybody, including Dame? Is it just CJ who's the most realistic trade piece that we have? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think blowing it up right now is stupid. I mean, we haven't had a terrible start to the season, and I think we've not been playing bad. Well, I mean, maybe we have, but it's still early-ish, so we have time. And trading Dame, I couldn't do it, especially not now. But for trading CJ, I know a lot of people would like that, and yeah, I guess I'd be happy with trading a big player that's not Damian Lillard if it means we're getting better. I just don't think that blowing it up right now is smart, because we're still a good team right now, and there's no point.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
And,
I
agree.
Look at the standings. We're actually 10th, and we're 2 games away from like 5th, basically in this season. So we're kind of like in the play-in, and with a few wins above that, we could easily be like 6th, 7th, where we avoid the play-in as well. So I think we definitely still need a few games before we talk about blowing things up, I think.
Well, and like you just said, Milwaukee, who won the championship last year and pretty much has almost the same roster they had last year, pretty close to it. They're the exact same record as we are, and we're not hearing all those fans freaking out saying they need to blow it up. So I do think that people kind of need to slow it down. But I'm curious, Otis, how you feel about blowing it up, or making trades for CJ, or even trades with Dame that people talk about.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, just watching the games, I think you guys would agree with me that when you watch the games, like the first unit doesn't really bring a lot of energy, and there's times where I'm watching the bench play, and they all kind of play together, and it's like, man, like Cody Zeller, like I almost kind of want him on the floor rather than Nurk in some of these games, and then it's like, oh man, Nasir Little, like Simons, they're all kind of popping off, and even if they're not like scoring, or they're letting some shots go, it's like they just play so hard, and some of the
Exactly.
starters just aren't showing that. Like Nurk and Rocco probably primarily just are not playing super hard, and then CJ, like on defense, I just don't feel like he brings it all the time as much as he should. For somebody like who's been in the league as long as him, he should kind of know some defensive like little tricks, being in the league that long. So yeah, like we kind of discussed, like Lucas said, like I would be open to trading anybody besides Dame. I just don't think you really can't blow it up with Dame, because he's he's the star of the show. I mean, he's like a top 10 player. You don't just walk into those. But and the funny thing is, though, I mean, the CJ has played really well this season too. So I don't know. I don't know if you're ever going to get good value for CJ because he's kind of sneakily like a top 10 shooting guard, even though he's really frustrating. But he's so good at being like a 3-level scorer. And there's a lot of guys like Doncic, Harden, like the big names come up. But beyond those, there's not a lot of like 3-level scorers in the NBA like CJ that could probably get you 30 a night if he's just like doing his own thing the whole night. So, um, yeah, I kind of vacillate back and forth between that of like who should we trade, what should we do. Nurkic has been really frustrating too. I don't know what you think about that, Lucas, but I was expecting Nurkic to come back strong, being healthy, and he just hasn't. He's really disappointed me, honestly.
I think we all were expecting that.
Yeah. I was just looking at the point totals today. He's only had 20 points once in like 14 games.
Yeah,
And,
it seems like it's the same Nurk from last year.
and just like some of these games, like that Phoenix game, we have Frank Kaminsky
Ugh.
blowing up for like 35 against us. Or like, just average centers. And it's like, dude, like, I understand you're not going to score 30 every game, but just like shut people down or like, let people
Just
like
command
feel
the
your
paint.
impact.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to touch on something before we go to Mike real quick. You brought up about CJ. It's 100% spot on. The issue has always been getting good value for CJ. I mean, we could make a trade to make a trade and we could do it, but it's getting the right value for CJ. And like you said, it's hard to find that value because of how sneakily good he is. It's hard to find value for that. So I totally agree with you. Mike, what's your thoughts on trades and blowing things up?
I'm always up for it. Yeah, yeah, shout out to Zeller, just did a crazy save and then it ended up in a three. And Zeller is kind of my focal point here because I feel like he's been the best center we have, like on both ends of the floor. Even though he's not the passer that Nurkic is, and doesn't have like the chemistry that Nurk has with Dame or CJ with the pick and rolls that can be developed. And Nurk has been really disappointing. Basically, we're always waiting for him to blow up, and it's always the same. He's always not good, but not average either. It's just a weird middle standard. And if he's going to complain about it, then I think it's time to move on from him. Especially because he has value. He's actually a very complete center when it comes to all the facets of the game. Except 3-point shooting, but yeah, trading Nurk would be the best scenario, and starting Zeller because Zeller is a starting quality starter in the NBA for sure. He showed that, and I feel like that's the best option. Dame obviously is not what we want to trade, of course, especially because he's playing good tonight finally. Um, and CJ is it's it's his splash brother, so right now I don't even know who can we trade CJ for, but with Nurkic, I'm sure we can get like a good forward that we can finally stop playing free guards and just sort the whole lineup up.
Yeah, and my friend Lee, who's not in the voice chat right now, but he is doing a text chat. He said Nurk would make the most sense on trading away because of his expiring contract and the lack of effort
Yeah.
that we get from him. Which
Yeah.
it's true. There's times when he's not putting any effort. It doesn't seem like at least that he's putting any effort out there. And I'm having a hard time seeing us re-sign him. So I think if we don't do anything with him, we'll end up losing him at the end of the year anyways. And I think that's kind of what Lee's saying. And he also mentioned that he was supposed to be one of the focal points on offense. And I mean, like Otis said, he only scored 20 points once, you said, right?
Yeah, that's what I had seen. I think he had a couple 17, but I mean, yeah, if you're playing 35 minutes and yeah, we all see these short rolls that he has. It seems like one of the easiest things you could practice at an NBA level. just over the summer, getting that pocket pass from Dame and rolling, finishing strong to the rim. I think it's frustrating for all of us, and it's like,
and
this has been an issue, yeah, for a long time.
The fact that he's got 2 bricks for hands and can't catch a ball, I don't know when that happened all of a sudden, but every pass he fumbles, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, there's a lot of fumbling around, and I think if we could, I don't think this is going to be possible, but if we could like get like DeAndre Ayton, like I'd give like Nurk 2 firsts or like 3 firsts, like because to be honest, I just go crazy with the picks. I mean, even if I'm not going to wait to save the picks for when we're bad. Like this, we have Damian Lillard. Let's just go all in. And I don't think he's going anywhere if we get DeAndre Ayton, who's like just a beast and at least like plays hard. We know he's going to come in, play hard the whole time. So I don't know how realistic that is, but I think Zeller's cool, but I wouldn't want to start him. I really like him coming off the bench and giving us solid minutes. I'd feel differently if he played like 35 minutes. I'd probably be a little like, whoa. But yeah, that would be my dream right now is DeAndre Ayton for Nurk.
Well, I completely agree. If we're trying to win now, first round picks don't matter to us. So I totally agree. So next question I want to ask you guys, Otis, I'll start with you. Who's been your favorite player to watch so far? Starting or bench, who's been your favorite to watch?
Yeah, that's tough. There's actually some good candidates. Like the starting unit, I have some issues with, but then CJ has kind of carried us a little bit, and it's kind of been crazy to watch. He's just added some more threes to his game, and then he still has that short range kind of smoothness that like so few people have. And you watch like the teams that play on prime time, like Harden, Doncic, they all have it, but really like 10 to 15 players have those moves where you think they're caught on defense and then they just like do a follow through like floater and you're like, oh man, like he's got it. So I mean him, and then just obviously like Simons and Little, of course, like those two I think we all like love to watch because you could just see them grow on the court the more minutes they have.
I just want to do a quick shout out. I saw somebody in the crowd wearing a Tracy McGrady jersey, so I just want to give a shout out to whoever that was. I like the jersey. What about you, Lucas? Who have you enjoyed watching? And as we're watching right now, we're making a little comeback here. It's now 33-30. Defense is picking up. Obviously, the second unit looks like it's mostly in. And before you go, I'm just going to give you guys a quick little. I actually enjoy watching Tony Snell play. He plays really good defense. He gets his hand on the ball a lot, and he's a good 3-and-D player, and I'm glad we have him, actually. I almost feel like we should play him more. But, Lucas, who's your favorite player to watch so far?
Well, like Otis said, there's been, like, issues with our starting 5, so it wouldn't be anyone from there. So I think I'd have to choose just Nasir Little easily because, I mean, we all were, like, expecting him to have a good season this year, because everyone was, like, hyping him up after the offseason, expecting him to do good. And I mean, I think he's lived up to all of that. And like the way he's been playing, obviously he's been like probably the hardest working player. You can always see him like trying to run up for the rebound and, hop up for the rebound and like get the deflections and the steals. And that's just like some of my favorite type of basketball like to watch. And especially he's just like so good at like dunking. I mean, it's fun to watch, obviously, and yeah, it's has to be him. It's easy for me.
Yeah, the effort he brings on offense and defense it's nice to see.
It's I mean, it's sad to say, but we literally do not beat the Houston Rockets without Nasir Little.
Yeah,
we shouldn't have to say that, but he did pretty much win us that game with his energy. And just like running the floor hard and then playing like really good defense too in that game as well. And just like rebounding. Like I think he had like 13 rebounds.
Yeah.
And in that same game, Nurkic had like 6. And it's like, well, nobody's going to score 30 points a game every game, but like you can always like play hard. And you can
Well-
always like fight for the ball.
Exactly. When you're 7 foot, you should be averaging at least 10 rebounds a game when you play as many minutes as he does.
Oh yeah, easily.
What about you, Mike? Do you have a player that you've enjoyed watching besides Carmelo Anthony?
Um, Besides Melo, maybe I have one player that has been sticking out for me, and luckily he's a Portland Trailblazer, and it's Dennis Smith Jr. Um, he's really like I love these like sneaky pickups that we do. Like last year we had Ronda, and he came out and gave us great minutes, but he never got the playing time he deserved. And I feel like Dennis Smith Jr. is right now is uh he's suffering the same treatment. Because like he realistically he only played 4 games with minutes, and he already has with 5+ assists and 3 games with over 3 steals. So and on all of those games we just lost one, which was last game. Other than that, all wins. Um yeah, he's really productive on the court, and he's getting the bunch of DNPs, man. I hate to see it, man. Uh he's not the scorer that we want off the bench, but his passing and his defense, his basketball IQ is something we are lacking big on the team. Like I feel like sometimes no one has a brain out there, and Dennis Smith Jr. is bringing that out, and hustling on the defense, and creating good looks, not turning over the ball too much. And yeah, I'd like to see him as a primary backup point guard, but I'm asking too much. I know I am.
One other player I want to shout out real quick. We haven't seen much of, but every time I've seen him, I've enjoyed watching him. Is Greg Brown. Love watching him come in, whether we're up by 20 or down by 20. He's kind of like Little, where he just gives you maximum effort, and the hops that guy has is crazy. He just crazy. Looks like Levi he responded here. If you ever go to a game in person, you would think Zeller was the best player in the league based off how the crowd reacts to him. And I totally get it. He's one of those hardworking guys who does all the little things that Portland fans love to see. So totally get it. He said he's Zeller's so fun to watch. He's a balding old man that just plays hard, and you can't disagree with that. I mean, he does play hard.
I'm sorry for the interruption there, but holy Nasir, Jesus Christ, that
I
dunk.
mean, he's been on something lately. We forgot to do polls, but I had a feeling that his dunk against was that Houston? Yeah, the dunk against
Yeah,
Houston
the
probably
Houston
would have won
game.
that one.
There's no need for a poll.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to go. We got 2 more questions left, so I'm just gonna kind of wrap both of these up in one. How do you guys feel about the defense, and like what solutions we could have to fix it? Because obviously it's an issue. And then just your feelings on the rest of the season. So let's go with Lucas. How you feeling about the defense and then the rest of the season?
I think our defense is better than last year, but that doesn't really say much because you can't get much worse than we were last year. But I mean, like our new guys, Nance and Zeller, obviously, have just been playing great defense, and also like you said, Snell. He doesn't get much minutes, but he's been playing good. Same with Dennis Smith Jr. And Nas, of course, has been trying very hard on defense, and we don't have, and especially on our starters, we don't have many players who are trying on defense, which is why I think it's a good idea to maybe do some new lineups with Nas or even Nance. But yeah, I think our defense is better, but that is not good yet. We need to change up our lineup, and also I think the 3-guard lineup won't work if we want a good defense, because there's so many good small forwards and wings in the league that we need someone good enough to guard them competently. And and Rocco sort of been supposed to do that, but he hasn't been doing it great so far, but he could still pick it up, I think. But yeah, And
So let me add on to this. What do you think? Because you mentioned it, the starting lineup might need to change. What do you think would be a good starting lineup for us to come out with?
I think we should do a lot of, maybe not a lot of, but a few experimenting with it. And I think just a simply I think okay. First, I think we should just try switching Rocco for Nance just for a bit, and also I've heard people saying like having Nance and Rocco starting. Well, no, I haven't heard much of that, but like, and having Powell also just come off the bench and score a bunch for us, even though obviously he would be the better player out of them, but we would still need like two good defenders on. But yeah, I don't think that's good, and I think Nance and Nas actually should have like an opportunity to start over Rocco at least a few games this season just to see how it works out.
Totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So Otis, how do you feel about the defense and the changes that they should make, or if there is any changes, and then also the starting lineup question as well?
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. Honestly, I would just play like the dudes who play the hardest, which would be, I mean, you have to play Lillard a lot of minutes, but I would go Lillard, Norm, like Norman Powell just always plays like mean, pissed off. Like he's always driving hard, and on the defensive end, he like fights hard. So I'd play him at the 2, Nasir Little at the 3, because I think he's earned it at this point. And he does, like, people kind of forget, like, I know Melo's your favorite player, Mike, but there was, like, a mini controversy last season when Nasir Little had, like, 8 threes in a game. And, like, people were like, why is Melo still playing over him? So, and then I'd have Nance at the 4, just because he's a little more springy than Rocco at this point, and then I'd probably still have Nurk at the center position. But ultimately, I mean, if Nurk can't get these short rolls on offense, it might just be better to have Zeller in his place, which I don't think you do that permanently, but you probably just do it a few games just so Nurk knows like he has to drive. And it's weird because Nurk he does play defense like hard. It's just he seems to like not want to score as much. You know, he spends a lot of the game screening for Dame and CJ, and he does a good job at that. But it's like, dude, why don't you take some of these handoffs and just fake it and drive to the basket? Like he should do that twice a game, or even just take 12 footers or something. Just try to score a little bit more. He doesn't want to seem to do that. So that would probably be my favorite lineup. I know that might piss CJ off, but I mean, he
just gonna say, red alert, CJ is not starting.
He probably, I mean, he can play. He could be like super CJ on the second unit. And hey, bud, you don't want to pass? Just don't pass for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, right.
You and Simons can just like, play off each other and stuff. I think I tell CJ that too. It's like, dude, you're not good enough. Like Norm plays harder than you on defense. Like, if you want it, you can have it. But it is kind of funny. Like we have so much guard depth. Like we do just have Dennis Smith waiting in the wings too. So we have a lot of like guards on defense and really just depth in general. That I don't know. I mean, maybe we just sit Dame for a few games if he really has an injury and he needs a week or two. Let's just, I think we should just try sitting him maybe, just to let Dennis Smith Jr. go at it. Let Simons come out, play a full game and stuff. And Simons played this full game against Denver. He did pretty well there. So I'd be curious to just kind of see what that would do and kind of get Dame prepared for the stretch run a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Norman Powell just got an and one. We're gonna be it's gonna be a close game at halftime. Mike, what about you? How do you feel about the defense, and how do you feel about the starting lineup change?
Yeah, I heard a melodic in the middle of that rant. So Nasir shot 8 threes in the game, but when he started in the NBA from 8 threes, maybe he can have a discussion.
Yeah, I can't deny that Melo has been shooting good from 3. So
Just behind Stephen Curry and CJ McCollum. a bucket, and he already has scored a 3 tonight in the game. So there's no argument there. In terms of our defense, as I said before, Dennis Smith had 3 steals versus the Lakers. He had 4 steals versus the Clippers.
Uh-oh. I think we're losing you, Mike.
Oh, am I
So-
here?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, we
I'm
got
back.
you.
I'm getting. Let me talk,
Uh-oh.
please.
We're losing you again.
Uh-oh.
I think what he's trying to say is we need to trade for Carmelo right now. He needs to be starting for us. I think that's what I heard him say.
It
Hello?
is
Am I
sad.
here?
Yeah. It is sad he's not here anymore. We can, yeah, I think we got you.
Yeah, as I was saying before I was interrupted. Dennis Smith is part of that. Larry Nance is of course part of that. Um, I remember a game versus the Clippers where it's one of the games where I felt we defended worse because we let Nicholas Batum score 22
Oh.
points.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
And
Goodness.
and that game, Robert Covington played 39 minutes, and Larry Nance played 9 minutes. So I don't know what went to the heads of the people there, but yeah, I'm sure Larry Nance wouldn't let Nicholas Batum drop a 22 piece.
Yeah, that was some clutch shooting by Batum all game long.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of that where we just let people go off against us, and it's like, I don't know, just like switch it up, you know. If Harrison Barnes has hit like 5 threes, like don't let him have any more threes in the game.
Totally
That's-
agree.
It's just like simple kind of adjustments like that, and just like I noticed just a lot of like penetration too. Like I would almost like just let the guy have an open shot from mid range, like and just don't no no layups, no layups. Like I feel like I watch half the game and we're just riding dudes' hips to the rim.
Pretty much every guard gets past our guards,
Yes.
whether
It's
there's
like-
a screen or not.
Yeah, so I would just say like just let people shoot and like you know just no easy shots. I mean, because that drives me crazy. And then just like bench people. If you're if you're Chauncey, just like dude, we brought you in to be the coach. You know, do the hard things and talk to dudes and just tell them, look, I'm gonna bench you because I haven't seen it.
Mike, did you have a little bit more you wanted to go off on?
No, basically we was just said before. Stop running 3-guard lineup. Norman looks like I don't know, looks like Nate Robinson there defending a small forward.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Even though he might not be happy to start, you still get minutes, and we can start maybe Rocco at the 3 or Nasir, because according to according to Otis, he made 8 threes in a game, and he's better than Melo. So
Do you guys remember
Yeah.
that?
Mhm.
They
I
were like
don't
asking
actually.
stop. Everybody was on his case because like Nasir was like kind of throwing into his boots a little bit.
Was that last year?
Yeah, it was like last year.
Yeah,
I
but
don't-
Anthony shot like 13 threes without missing, so we
That's
should bench
true.
Dame too.
That's true.
Well, I
that
will
was
say-
a crazy game.
It's really I don't know. It is kind of it's sad to me that I like Melo says we didn't offer him a contract. Like I hope we would have at least offered him a contract. Obviously, like I don't want him playing like a ton, but like this would have been cool to like have him as like as his finishing kind of team, basically.
Mhm.
And I never got a Melo jersey, so I mean those are probably like skyrocketed in price. I would assume by now.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Olshey did not even reach out to Melo, and he did the same thing with Wesley Matthews. And
Yeah.
that's just not something you do to a player that's played for you. It just seems
Yeah.
crazy.
That's actually
Yeah.
pretty common in the league, though. Like, not many GMs like say goodbye to their players like when they don't sign them. I heard that's not really common, but I don't know if that's true or not.
I just feel like I'd at least say, hey, we're not going to offer you anything, and I hope you
Good
find
luck.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I would
thank
too. I
you
would
for
too.
the years you gave us and how hard you
Yeah.
played.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know, it's
doesn't take.
crazy.
I mean, I feel like Melo definitely gave it his all. Like he was a lot better on defense too than people really want to give him credit for.
True.
Like he
Very
could,
vocal.
He's always vocal.
he was very vocal. Yeah,
On those rebounds.
coming down with the rebounds.
Yeah, get out of his way. Is
Yeah,
there?
I missed that.
I just thought about this. I wanted to ask everybody real quick. The Blazers are wearing their new jerseys tonight, and at first I didn't think I was gonna like them. Looking at them now, I actually do like them a lot. So my question is, what is your guys' favorite alternate jersey that we've ever had? Do you have a favorite one? Let's start off with Mike. Besides Melo jerseys, what's your favorite alternate jersey we had?
That's funny because it's actually a Melo jersey, and I just got it like 2 weeks ago. It's that brown Oregon jersey. I
Oh yeah.
love that design, man. Just I don't know, it's just so different from what we've seen in the league. I'd never seen a brown jersey, and somehow the colors saying Oregon really fits well with the brown, and it's a Melo jersey, so.
And what about you, Otis? What's your favorite alternate jersey?
That's probably it. That's probably it because it just feels like cool and woodsy with that like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
cursive organ and like I don't know, man. Where like I live in Northern California, and even out here, dude, there's like a ton of Lakers fans, and it's so like they're always wearing their dumb Laker jerseys, but like that organ like cursive like look, that's just like a classic like look to me. It's like, hey, from the Pacific Northwest, we have all these breweries and stuff, and we're just cooler people in general, So that's kind of what I would want to be wearing for any Portland jersey.
What about you, Lucas? What's your favorite alternate jersey?
I mean, I also have the same pick for my favorite alternate jersey as the Mike and Otis. I kind of exactly what they said, really. I mean, I don't live anywhere near like California or Oregon, really. Well, sort of close, but I don't like know about it like on that level. But I just think it looks great and I don't pay much attention to jerseys, but that's my favorite. Like automatically, I would think that's my favorite.
Well, shit. I guess I'm gonna have to mix it up a little bit. My favorite alternate jersey was the Rip City jerseys they wore back when Aldridge and they did the sleeve jersey, the sleeved form of it. I didn't like the sleeve form as much, but I did like just the plain white Rip City jersey with the red and black on the side.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's always been my favorite, and I had to get one of those jerseys when I went to the game, so I was like, "Yep, this is the one for me." So for me, that's my favorite alternate jersey. But I honestly, I really like these. These look like '90s throwback jerseys, and I like what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
I like the '90s jerseys. I think they got to keep mixing it up too, like the Miami jersey, like the Vice City kind of jersey. Like
Mhm.
I just want more like crazy designs, basically.
Are you liking the crayon box that they have right now? It just looks like a elementary school kid made their jersey. A bunch of different colors and.
I haven't seen that, but I like the like what is that? The blue and the tan.
The Vice ones are really nice. Yeah. The new ones they have this year, they're strange. They look like elementary school kid put in a submission for their jersey and they accepted it because it's a bunch of random colors on their jersey.
Yeah, I just like I like weird jerseys. Like I like the Raptors Dino jerseys.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Those are like so cool to me. So just give me more weird jerseys. The Oregon jersey is a good place to start. Just keep mixing it up.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Do you guys think Neil Olshey is going to get fired soon?
Oh, he's gone.
Gone. Yeah, I figured.
Whether they find something or not, he's gone.
I kind of I gotta say, like, I think we're gonna regret it if we fire him. Like maybe he's a mean person, but I think he does draft pretty well. when you look at his draft record, it's like even like second round, like Anthony Simon's late round pick, Pat Connaughton, he's on his like third contract. Will Barton, we probably shouldn't have traded him.
Nope.
Nasir Little, super late pick. Greg Brown, I mean, he's at least interesting and stuff. So, the
DJ
Nurkic
Ellaby?
trade, yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about CJ Ellaby.
I'm trying to.
No, actually, yeah. CJ Ellaby, not to be weird, but he's probably my most hated player of this whole
Yeah.
like era. He's
Really,
just-
really hate him.
He
I
just
just
doesn't.
I don't understand what he does well besides have like a bouncy afro. He just
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I had my brother come over and watch one game, and he perfectly summed it up. He looks like an ostrich running out there, and he really does. It's
Yeah.
weird.
He looks like
All
an
right.
ostrich.
Something. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming out. We're gonna do this again, and this time we're not gonna schedule it when there's a Blazer game because truly I didn't even think about it. But there's a lot of people that wanted to take part of it, but have season tickets or will go into this game. So we'll do this again, and hopefully we'll have more that, and it won't be on a game. I promise. But Otis, Lucas, I appreciate you guys coming out. Even Lee, even though he couldn't really talk, I appreciate you guys all being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
And obviously, we'll do this more often, but it's just fun to talk basketball. It's fun to talk Blazers and get everybody's opinions on things and hear funny ideas and stories. So I appreciate you guys coming out. Mike, I'm glad you're feeling better and you're back with us.
Yeah.
Make sure if you guys aren't, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Discord. Join in on the conversations. And as always, Rip City, baby.